In this video, first of all, I'd like to say good afternoon, or good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. In this video, I'd like to say why I think that Donald Trump will be blamed for the next financial crisis. Now, a lot of people have went out and they actually blaming Donald Trump even before, but nobody's actually taken the time to go back and look at George Bush and his policies, look at Obama and his destruction of 10 trillion almost in his 8 years of being president. And Bloomberg actually saying that Donald Trump should be happy to inherit such a healthy economy when they're knowing that this economy has been rotten or is rotting from the inside like a cancer patient. Nevertheless, I'd like to state why I think that Donald Trump will be blamed for the next financial crisis. And it's something that's more sinister than anything that you could think about. See, in order to find out exactly what is wrong with the system or who to blame, you have to first go back to how we got here in the first place. And Donald Trump is not the reason. I'm not here to defend Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I don't vote for any of these people who are supposed to be in power. I do believe that Donald Trump is controlled. He is controlled opposition. How do we know that? Because every president in the United States don't get in there based on the fact that they got there on free will. They are all puppets. They answer to somebody, and that somebody is the one that, if you take the time to look at it, they're the ones that's hiding in the shadows. They're the ones that are lurking in the background. That's the one that you really need to pay attention to. Who are they? The international bankers. The same one that Messiah Yeshua drove out of the temple for messing up the money, for stealing and cornering the shekel market, the silver market back in the day, and making the place which the Most High is supposed to be worshipped a den of thieves. These people haven't changed. They're still there today. Now there's a movie called The Crash that shows, and I know that we've been seeing all of this hacking and stuff that's going on. It shows how the Federal Reserve chairman and the bankers got together at this place where a circus was going on. And if you notice, many people in the alternative media always talk about the circus in Washington or the circus in Wall Street. So the Federal Reserve chief in the movie, he got together with the bankers and he showed them a little jump drive, where they had this virus that they were going to release in the market, and this virus was basically going to bring down the whole financial market. And what the Federal Reserve told the bankers was, you're going to sell everything in this market downturn and you're going to be able to buy them back for pennies on the dollar. This is a movie that just came out in January. It's called A Crash. I watched it on 123 Movies. Now I don't know how long they're going to keep it there, but it might disappear soon. So if you want to see it, you might have to download Kodi and do 123 Movies as an add-on, and then you'll be able to see the movie. But anyway, if you notice the narrative from the time Donald Trump became president, they started by saying, oh, the stock market is going up because it's a Trump rally. Everything in the market was because of Donald Trump. These international bankers or the banksters, they need a scapegoat. And Donald Trump, he fits the bill. And whatever policies and stuff that he's doing right now, it's not going to have any effect on fixing anything in his market. The market was already destroyed through money printing. Who printed the money? All the central banks. They printed this money to destroy the entire economy. Now, if you sit back and you think about it, if the narrative after the crash, remember Trump was supposed to be bad for the market. So why is it that the stock market rallied all these points under Donald Trump? Well, the truth is they weren't ready to crash the system. So if you notice, they always talk about a Trump rally. Now, I guarantee you, since there was a 372 point down on a Dow last week, they said that was also due to Donald Trump. So the question you're supposed to ask yourself is Trump bad for the market or is he good for the market? Because the market has rallied under Donald Trump and now it's going to crash under Donald Trump. So is Trump really bad for the market? No. They need a scapegoat and Donald Trump fits the bill. He's the one who's supposed to guide this so-called recovery, which it cannot. A cancer patient that's dying and being pumped up with medication or with drugs called free money, you take away the punch bowl, like the Fed is doing now, raising interest rates, then the patient has to die. So from since November the 8th last year, everything was Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. You could put Trump in any of your articles and people will look at it because Trump is the main narrative now. So he's going to take the blame for everything that happens within the next few months in the stock market. And I'm talking about the downward spiral in it. Now, the reason why I say that Donald Trump is just the scapegoat in this is because I'm going to give you some information that you can Google. That Ben Bernanke, he gave a speech in 2002. And in that speech, he said something that was rather sinister. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read that. So Ben Bernanke in a speech in 2002, November 8th, imagine that. The date is November 8, 2002, in a speech given at a conference to honor Milton Friedman and Paul Snowden Russell, this distinguished service professor emeritus, on occasion of his 90th birthday. This is what Ben Bernanke said. He said, in short, according to Friedman and Schwartz, because of institutional changes and misguided doctrines, the banking panics of the great contractions were much more severe and widespread than would have normally occurred during a downturn. So what Mr. Bernanke is saying is, because of the Fed's policies at the time, they made the Great Depression era worse than it was. So that's what Bernanke says. He says, let me end my talk by abusing slightly my status as an official representative of the Federal Reserve. I would like to say, Milton and Anna, regarding the Great Depression, you are right. We did it. Who are the we? The Federal Reserve. We did it. We're very sorry. But thanks to you, we won't do it again. What does he mean about that? What does he mean that they won't do it again? Bernanke was lying, just like he said, gold is not money. When Ron Paul asked him, what is this? Is gold money? He said, no, it's tradition. Right? So Bernanke was lying the same way. But he was telling the truth in this one thing. He said that they wouldn't do it again, meaning they won't take the blame for any more financial crisis. And he is the main reason, him and Alan Greenspan and now Janet Yellen, they're the main reason that the stock market is how it is now, rotten into the core, because they're printing money to oblivion. But guess what? They're not going to take the blame for it. When he said we won't do it again, he means we won't take the blame for it again. So what did he do? They passed it on now to who? To Washington. Washington is responsible for this. Donald Trump is the scapegoat in the next financial crisis. I just want to put this on record just so that everybody know that it's not Donald Trump is going to be the one. When you see these little financial worms and stuff that's coming out, these are tests. They're going to bring the system down, and they're going to bring it down by using either some kind of a hack, or they're going to use some type of virus or something like that. But whatever it is, when they bring it down, believe me, they're going to use it and say Donald Trump policies in Washington, they're the reason why. The bankers are never going to take the blame for another crash. They're going to go ahead and they're going to create this chaos in Washington, and that's who they're going to blame for it. Anyway, this video is long enough. I wanted to keep it like 10 minutes, so I'd like to say shalom. If you like it, please share it. Please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Thank you very much.